Popping the question has never looked more beautiful. Welcome to MsMojo, and today, we're counting down our picks for the top 10 anime proposals. For this list, we're looking at the times where anime characters got down on one knee and asked the love of their life to marry them. Whether the results are romantic or hilarious, as long as they struck a chord, they count. Number 10. Junichi and Haruka, Amagami SS+.
ご飯にする？お風呂にする？それとも私？
Ever wondered what it would look like if the protagonist ended up with every potential romance? Well, in this collection of epilogues, we see various outcomes of Junichi's differing relationships, each taking place in their own little parallel universe. In the case of Haruka, she makes it clear that she wants to go all the way and tie the knot with her hubby of choice. How does he reciprocate? By getting up in front of the entire student body during their graduation ceremony and asking her to be his wife, much to her jubilation.
Haruka 好きだ! 大好きだ! 僕と結婚してくれ! 大将よく言った! 一緒に幸せになろう、Haruka! 僕と一緒に!
Number 9. Hinata and Yui, Angel Beats. They spent most of their time in limbo quarreling and trading blows, and yet their final moments together were pure heartbreak.
結婚。女の究極の幸せ。
As Yui tries to fulfill her list of goals so she can move on, she confesses one of her greatest desires is to get married, though doubts due to her condition anyone would want to. And that's when Hinata appears, who proceeds to let her know that no matter what, he will marry her, going into great detail as to how they would find one another back on the mortal coil.
俺が結婚してやんよ。これが俺の本気だ。
If you're somehow still holding back the tears, seeing this dream meeting play out is sure to push you over the edge. Number 8. Iki and Stella, Chivalry of a Failed Knight. This was one hell of a day for Iki. Not only had he just proved himself as the strongest knight in the land by defeating the unstoppable Toka in a single move, but got his sizzling waifu to marry him immediately after. Given how his victory had nearly proved fatal due to the force of the attack, and had spent the previous days being shamed by the world due to its elitist prejudice, seeing Stella rush to his side and agree on the spot to be his bride is really heartwarming.
Iki!
Stella.
You may be a stale piece of bread, Iki, but good on you for going all out.
Stella. 僕の家族になってほしい。
Number 7. Kirito and Asuna, Sword Art Online. Simple yet effective, when you're trapped in a virtual world with seemingly no chance of escape, deciding to get hitched and start a life amongst the gaming landscape of SAO is pretty appealing. Following on from a near game over at the hand of a sadistic player,
I give up! I surrender! Please don't kill me! I'll leave the guild! You'll never see me again, I promise! Please!
Kirito decides now would be a great time to go all in for that romance achievement by asking the player 2 of his dreams to be his bride.
And then what?
Then we get married.
And just like that, one of anime's ultimate power couples was born, in spite of all those harem members lurking on the horizon.
It's worth it though, because we can live in peace here.
Number 6. Raku and Chitoge, Nisekoi.
それじゃあ楽しんでってくださいね。
Not every marriage proposal is a sparkling celebration filled with joy and tears of happiness. Sometimes it's a massive misunderstanding that comes to bite you in the backside, but at least it's funny for the rest of us to watch.
何よ。
As their masquerade as a couple continues, Raku makes the mistake of handing a charm over to Chitoge, not realizing that they happen to be standing in a spot where such an action is considered a marriage proposal in its own right. Cue the embarrassment and breakdowns.
これやるよ。 んだそのリアクション。
Number 5. Muroku and Sona, Inuyasha. The fact that a womanizing monk like Muroku successfully won the heart and hand of a badass boomerang warrior like Songo is a miracle unto itself, especially given how lopsided his proposal was.
Songo?
Initially coming across like he wanted them to remain friends, this was quickly corrected when he insisted that should they survive the final battle with Naraku, he'd love nothing more than to settle down and for her to bear his children.
Songo, I want you to hear my feelings. You don't need to say anything, just please hear me out.
Okay, so he didn't exactly agree to stop chasing Skirt, but we have no doubt his future missus beat that nonsense out of him soon after.
Muroku, does this mean you'll stop womanizing?
Huh?
Number 4. Simon and Nia. Gurren Lagann the movie, The Lights in the Sky Are Stars. Bust through the heavens with your drill, or in this case, bust through all the preconceptions and troubles that come with proposing to the daughter of the Spiral King.
結婚しよう、ニア。
While initially hesitant at first due to her misunderstanding of human culture, Nia eventually agrees to marry the young digger after reflecting on her own dreams and wants.
これからずっと一緒にいて、もっともっとあなたのことを知りたい。あなたにも私のことを分かってほしい。
While the wedding itself was one of the most bittersweet sights we've ever seen, at the very least, this quiet and tranquil exchange will always be around to remind us about the genuine bond these two shared. Number 3. Hiramaru and Aoki, Bakuman. Popping the question at a fairground seems like a delightful idea, especially when you're choosing a Ferris wheel of all places to reveal an engagement ring.
平丸和也は青木コウこと青木百合子に遊園地でプロポーズするんだ。
Alas, things do not go smoothly for poor Hiramaru. On account of him misplacing the ring and potentially ruining his chance at a grandiose proposal.
ない。
Thankfully, Aoki is an absolute keeper and gives him the strength to choke out that all-important question in spite of the fact he had nothing to put on her finger.
平丸さん、頑張って。頑張って話してください。
Dude, don't you ever let her go. Number 2. Yusuke and Keiko, Yu Hakusho. It would be out of character for anime's most iconic punk to go all in with flowers, serenades, and every other kind of textbook demonstration for affection.
So I don't see you for days and all of a sudden you call me up and expect me to be fine?
I'm going through a major change, Keiko.
Uh-huh.
Instead, he kept it short and sweet, yet equally potent. On the eve of the tournament in the demon world, Yusuke makes a promise to Keiko that, should he survive, the two of them will marry.
Then let's get married.
While initially put off by the suddenness of the gesture, it's easy to see just how much of an impact it has on Keiko as she watches Yusuke disappear into the night, with no promise of return. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Ed and Winry, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. You couldn't ask for a sweeter ending to such an epic saga. Now somewhat wiser, the older Elric brother decides that it's time to let his beloved mechanic know exactly how he feels about her, in the most Ed way imaginable, by promising to give half his life to her if she gives half her life to him, a la equivalent exchange. While he technically didn't put a ring on Winry's finger then and there, this little interaction is just darling. They're still unable to come right out and say it, but as far as we're concerned, that final embrace seals the deal. Plus, they eventually start a family together, so it must have worked. you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.